This is the Shepard, and we're at the Rave in Milwaukee, Wisconsin here for the Nile show tonight, and we're lucky enough to have a chance here to talk with Dallas. Dallas, thanks for the time, and welcome to We Love Metal.
Thank you.
The new album, a couple years ago, I remember watching some interviews, and the direction was going to be more brutal, more aggressive, less worry about technical, just get after it. Would you say mission accomplished?
Oh yeah, definitely. We don't ever want to do the same album twice. I would also have to say that, as far as just writing the music for this band, it's nice to have the technical aspect on tap when you feel it necessary. But I felt personally that we concentrated on just making some songs that will connect to the listener, and that's always been the primary goal, just to be heavy, and connect to the listener that likes that type of thing.
Yeah, well, that for sure comes through on the album. One of the songs that I think is really stirring a lot of conversation is called "The Destruction," and I don't know if you have ever have a chance, as busy as you guys are, but if you ever have a chance, go to the YouTube and then go down to the comments. Most of the time, 99% of the time, that's garbage, but there's a thread there that's like 150 replies big now. And there's actually some really intelligent conversation about questioning what is the song's intent, what is the video's intent, and it's all the way from, oh, I like this because it's anti-Christian, pro-Islam. It's about time America got some of theirs, to the opposite. Someone saying you have no idea what you're talking about, you totally missed the point. So we'll just ask the source, what was the song and video's intent, and how does it feel to stir that kind of intelligent conversation?
Well, it is what it is. We didn't really have any. I don't think Carl had any major intentions of intentionally trying to stir anything up. It was mostly just, very much right from the history books. As far as, I don't think it's, it's definitely not pro-Islam. It's not pro anything. If any, my personal opinion of it is basically with organized religion and mass population control, if you're trying to push this religion on somebody, but there's all these monuments around from all these other religions or this other philosophy, paganism or whatever it may be, and you're trying to, and that stuff obviously predates whatever ideology you're trying to sell onto the masses. Of course, they're going to try and tear it all down because it's just directly discrediting exactly what they're trying to achieve with their little religion, and it's kind of a shame, really, because whether we agree with these religions or not, it's a part of our history, and we should not tear down some of these monuments that we're tearing down just because, even if it's something that people don't remember fondly, it's still something that keeps us remembering, those different cultures and times. I think that's really important.
A lot of violent propaganda right now. A lot of xenophobia and paranoia in America with what's with terrorism and things that have gone on. Is Nile prepared today at the Rave in Milwaukee to endorse a political candidate for president? Are you ready to say here's the man or here's the woman?
We don't normally dive into politics.
Gotcha. No problem. And when you grew up as a fan, just going to shows and such, who did you see on stage that just grabbed you and said, "Damn, that's electric. That's wow. I got to do that." Any performers that just stand out to you?
Well, definitely Rush. I've seen them first time I saw them, I think I was 9 or 10 years old, and I was a drummer back then. So, of course, Neil was a big influence. And I think that was the band that really got me, that really kind of kicked me in the ass and just inspired me to practice and play. And, later on as I got older, of course I got into more of the heavy thrashy stuff, crossover stuff like DRI and stuff like that. And I just found it all really inspiring, to get good.
In your travels and the bands that you worked with in the industry and such, and you've been in it for so long now, who have you met that you guys just, maybe you personally or the band, have gelled with, or really enjoyed live?
Oh, that would be a pretty long list. We just did a tour in Europe last year with Suffocation, and it was a very successful tour, one of the most successful ones we've ever had. And all we shared the bus with those guys, super cool guys. We hung out a lot, talked a lot about musical equipment, you know, whatever it is we want to do, in the future and stuff like that. But I find that, and I think everybody in Nile can agree that a lot of the acts that we've toured with have been just super talented people and really nice. Really nice to work with, fun to hang out with, and stuff like that. Immolation comes to mind. They're definitely our metal brothers. Bands like Christian, brutal show every night. They really lay it down, and they're just really nice people. And there's a lot of that going on. We haven't really. I mean, we toured with Cannibal Corpse back in the day, and Marduk and Deicide and a few other ones, Napalm Death, just to name a few. And everybody's been super cool. It's not like these things that you hear, these rumors that you hear, oh, that guy's an asshole, or or whatever. It's usually not like that. I mean, what people don't realize is if you approach somebody and they just woke up, they need a cup of coffee, you know, they need something, you know what I mean? They need to just wake up.
Sure.
It does not mean that they're an asshole just because they're not willing to damn talk to you and shake your hand and sign your shit like right away, you know. So yeah, I mean, all the we've been lucky. Like I'd say 98% of the musicians and bands that we've toured with have been super cool, and it's all about teamwork and making a good show. And every band member and crew member are part of making that show good.
Well, speaking of shows coming together, you guys have a novel approach. I think it's a very say inclusive and far-reaching thought, and I like it. Why have you approached opening acts as instead of a package deal? You're going to take someone from close to Milwaukee tonight. You're going to take someone close to wherever you're, Minneapolis, St. Paul, or whatever. Why that approach?
I guess the only thing I could really say is why not? In a way, it kind of it gives local bands a chance to play and get exposure to a larger audience, which kind of puts an injection back into the scene. Which I read a lot of stuff, people saying that the scene's suffering, it's not what it used to be, or whatever. And also with the local things, we get to check out some bands. I haven't really had a chance to do it this tour, but there's that aspect. There's also the aspect of we get to keep the ticket price down a little bit, so it's not like some crazy ticket price, and it's just a win-win for everybody involved.
Good deal.
And we enjoy it, and we have ran into some pretty cool people. The past few times, I think this is probably the third U.S. tour that we've had the opening bands, either third or fourth, and it's been very successful. And everybody walks away, from the experience saying, yes, that was a good thing to do.
Excellent. Every city, I would guess, wants to project itself or claim it to be a metal city. I'm going to proudly say that Milwaukee absolutely is a great metal city. You guys have been here before. Would you agree this is a great metal city? And what other cities, maybe internationally even, do you guys just, that's one of the ones we crave? That's where people are just all swelled up and ready to go.
Well, you got here, you got Worcester, Massachusetts. You got Masquerade in Atlanta. There's Slims over in San Francisco. There's actually quite a bit of venues, and I feel very lucky and privileged that we have a following, a strong following in the U.S. pretty much everywhere we play. And I couldn't really particularly say a specific place that we would prefer. We'll pretty much, if we can fit our gear on the stage, we'll pretty much play anywhere to any amount of people. So yeah, but this is definitely metal community here. We're looking forward to the show, and it's cool because it's a Friday night and everything. I
Yes.
think the last time we played here, it was on a weeknight. The attendance was still pretty good, but yeah.
Yeah, the feeling on a weekend show is a different feeling. It has to be. I
Hmm.
said you mentioned Napalm Death, and they're going to be here in a month, and some other people you mentioned they were just here. So yeah, this is one of the places to be. Um, in the last couple of months, I've read in some different music magazines a couple of band members being named in the top 5 of this and the top 5 of that. Do you think the average fan gets how talented of a band you guys are?
I don't know, actually. I mean, and I don't know that I honestly would care so much because as long as they're liking what we do and they're getting some kind of connection with that, then that's all that really matters. You know, I'm happy that some of us are getting some recognition. That's really cool, but I don't think any of us ever thought that would happen or really cared about it. It's just all about you know writing some killer tunes and staying true to your guns and you know not cheesing out, not wimping out.
Well, there's no doubt that there's any thought about that going on with Nile. That's for sure. What kind of music do you, when you have your own free time, do you listen to that maybe would surprise people? Like, really, Dallas from Nile listens to that? I can't believe that.
Uh, I don't know, not really. I mean, I've been kind of getting into like bands like The Sword and Sleep lately. That might be something that might be a bit off-putting for somebody, but I was always a fan of. I don't know if you remember the band Trouble back in
I don't.
the day. Okay, well they're a killer band. They've got like kind of some Sabbathy riffs, and I've been a fan of them from way back. I think the last record they put out was in 2012, but yeah, I like stuff like that. Just kind of more of a classic heavy metal style. Of course, I like death metal too, obviously, and black metal, and all the other ridiculous categories they try to stick us in. Yeah, to me, it's just all rock and roll. So,
Yeah. How do you mentioned a little bit earlier? How do you remain? You seem like a very positive person. You're very friendly to talk to, and you've talked about these bonds that you guys have with other bands and how 98% of it is all good. How does a person simultaneously be so on even keel, and then you're going to be on stage around 9:30 or whatever, and you're just going to destroy it? How does that coexist within one man?
well, it's all about having fun at the end of the day. It is as twisted as it may sound. Playing heavy, brutal, and violent, angry sounding music is very soothing, and you can get a lot off your chest that way. We enjoy it. We're a lot of times when we're up on the stage, we're all smiles though. I mean, we just enjoy playing. If the sound is good and we can hear what we're doing, it's on. We just enjoy it. And yeah, it is weird how it can all be contained in one person, but the I don't know, the anger and the brutality or whatever just kind of stays to the music, and it's still a relatable thing. Some people probably buy a little bit too much into their own hype, and they got to walk around with a shitty look on their face all the time, and they're unapproachable or whatever. But it's just like, hey man, just we're musicians that like to play heavy shit, and it makes us happy.
Awesome, that's great. Are you guys? Are you a football guy?
Not really.
No. I was going to ask for you for your Super Bowl prediction as we wrap up here. But Carolina, I mean, somewhat close to home.
They were undefeated except for one game, the last I heard, but that's been a while now. They may have dropped the ball literally since then. Who knows?
Yeah, they're still flying high. One game and they'll make it in the Super Bowl. We'll wrap it up here, and thanks again for your time here. Any last things that you like to get across to the fans, to people that read and listen?
Just thanks so much for all the years of support and dedication. And definitely check out all your local scenes and whatever bands are going on. Go to these shows, check these guys out. There's a new sound on the horizon.
Excellent. Well, we're here at the Rave, Milwaukee. Nile's going to play here tonight, 9:30, something like that. And I got a great local man's going to open up for them, tear the stage up. So if you're around, you can get down here. Great. Next up is is it Minneapolis or somewhere? It's Minnesota.
Yeah, we're going to be in Minnesota, I believe.
Minneapolis.
Yep, Minneapolis.
All right, so if you're in Minneapolis and you read this, get the tickets, get out there and support, like you heard Dallas say. And thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.